Context is everything. Okay, so not quite everything, but it's close. Almost everything you say and do becomes pretty close to meaningless unless the people who hear or watch you know something about whatever message you're trying to get across. And with more and more information coming at us every minute of every day, the context issue is becoming even more important. You used to have 10 or 15 seconds to get someone's attention, and today you're lucky to have 15 milliseconds. Well, this struck me the other day. Once when a news story crossed my path of consciousness, and again when I threw away a piece of email that I not only wanted to read, but I'd asked for. Those things might not sound terribly related, but they are. Both are about context, and both are about our expectations for context and how those expectations get manipulated. Now first, I came across this headline. This entrepreneur doesn't think it's fair to only test the hearing of babies born to the rich. And as an American, with a recollection of my kids' hearing being tested as a matter of course, the context this story pulled up for me was, well, wait a second, isn't that an automatic? Because in this part of the world, it is. Problem is, I was reading a headline for a story localized to India. Well, I hope healthcare in India is improving to the point that the subject and its discussion move forward. But had I understood the context earlier, I would never have clicked through to the story. And I was a bit annoyed that I'd been tricked into wasting a few seconds of my time. Well, the story appeared at Quartz, which, as they'll tell you on their About page, is a digitally native news outlet. And this means that Quartz's sensibility is a bit different than, say, that of the New York Times, and more like BuzzFeed. At Quartz, the only real goal is to get your attention long enough that you'll click something. Kind of like what I just did, highlighting and making a link out of the word BuzzFeed. To many people, the expected context is that I'm sending you to BuzzFeed, but in fact, I'm sending you to a story about BuzzFeed. And I care. Why? Because the longer I keep you here, the better chance I have of getting your attention and maybe making you a business process management client. Oh, and the more ads you'll see, and the more money we make from that revenue channel too. So, in the case of Quartz, I was manipulated and I was annoyed, but hey, at least I learned something about healthcare in India. Well, upon thinking about it though, the context of my annoyance is what came front and center. Quartz holds itself up as a journalistic outpost, and some of their writing is very good, but the context of journalism having morphed into a promise first, inform second endeavor bothers me a lot. And go ahead, click on that journalism link. You'll see just how much the evolution of journalism is getting under my skin. Well, then the email thing happened, and I receive a lot of email, several hundred pieces of spam each day. And I'd asked, in this case, for technical support on the software we use to throw these pop-ups that you see on the screen here. And again, context. The message I received in return had as a title this: Support contact form, Jeff Yablon. There was no indicator who it was from, no context at all other than one that looks like so many of the junk mails I get each day. And I threw it away because in those 15 milliseconds that it was under my nose, I lumped it in with that hour's couple of dozen spam messages, and the context I applied was counterproductive to my own needs. Context is everything. Search engine optimization isn't exactly obsolete. Online dating is weird, but it's weird in a different way than it used to be. A simple question like, hey, what time is the Super Bowl, isn't really simple at all. Even the question of the correct use of all caps needs to be answered contextually. Some people equate it with shouting. Others use it for emphasis. Understanding and managing business process has many facets, and applying the appropriate context is one of them. You ready for the best context of all? Today is the day to start. I'm the answer guy, and I'll be back.